Hello everyone, it is Jazz here. I was pretty stumped on what kind of video to make today, so I thought that must mean that it's time to do a tag video, and I realized that I've never done the Finally Fall book tag, which is baffling to me because I love fall time so much, and the day that I'm filming this is technically the first day of autumn, so I thought it was a good time to do the Finally Fall book tag. This was created by Tall Tales. I will link you to her original tag video in the description, and let's just jump into the questions. Question 1. In fall, the air is crisp and clear. Name a book with a vivid setting. So I decided to go with a book that I read not too long ago, and that would be Ross Poldark, which is the first book in the Poldark series by Winston Graham. So one thing that I really noticed about this book and really highly enjoyed about this book was that the setting of Cornwall in the past was so vividly described and so much a part of the book that it almost felt like as much of a character as the other characters in the book. Number 2, nature is beautiful but also dying. Name a book that is beautifully written but also deals with the heavy topics such as loss or grief. So I decided to go with the book The Usual Rules by Joyce Maynard. This is about a 13-year-old girl named Wendy. Her mother dies in the Twin Towers attacks, and so the rest of the book is kind of about her dealing with that. I would love to reread this again because I just remember really connecting to the character and her likes and dislikes and things like that in this story, and I do remember it being such a beautiful story. May have to get it on ebook though because this print is so small and my 32-year-old eyes cannot do that right now. Number 3, fall is back to school season. Share a nonfiction book that taught you something new. I decided to go with the book Living with Dyspraxia. This is a book that is about adult developmental dyspraxia and learning some coping skills on what you need to do with that. Now, I have dyspraxia. It's something that I was born with. It is sort of a learning difference, but also a developmental and neurological disorder. I've always had this. I've known that I've had it since I was probably in middle school or my teenage years. And a year or two ago, I started having a lot of weird symptoms, weird things that were happening in my brain that I didn't understand, and it was really making me sad and freaking me out. So I decided to read this book, and this book really did help me learn some things that I needed to know about this thing that I have. So it was really interesting and it was really helpful, and it helped me get some help that I really needed so that I could, function in a daily life capacity because I was kind of not functioning as well as I really should have been. Number 4, in order to keep warm, it's good to spend time with people we love. Name a fictional family, household, friend group you'd like to be a part of. So I went with family, and I have a couple of choices. Both of them start with M. I would either like to be part of the Murray family from A Wrinkle in Time, or I would like to be part of the March family from Little Women. In both families, you would be able to have really good intellectual discussions, and they are really sweet and loving and there for each other kind of families. Number 5, colorful leaves are piling up on the ground. Show us a pile of fall colored spines. Here is my stack of fabulous fall colored spines. I kind of wish that our fall leaves looked this pretty where I live, but in my part of Tennessee that I live in, we just get pretty much brown. Number 6, fall is the perfect time for some storytelling by the fireside. Share a book wherein someone is telling a story. So I decided to go with Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. For obvious reasons, it's a very fall-timey sort of read. I believe when I read it, I read it at full times, but I also think there's a lot of story within a story within a story sort of telling in this book. It is taking place from the original point of view of this captain writing a letter to his sister, telling the story of what happened to Dr. Frankenstein and his monster, and then also within that story of Frankenstein telling the ship captain that the monster also tells Frankenstein his side of the story of what happened to him. So it's a story within a story within a story within a story. Number 7, The Nights Are Getting Darker. Share a dark, creepy read. I feel obligated to pick a Stephen King book. I decided to go with Pet Sematary because I feel like this is the only creepy book that Stephen King has written that like actually disturbed me, because I'm not easily disturbed. I think it was a combination of like the lead up to the end is very edge of your seat, but also I feel like there's something really disturbing to me about, you know, psycho, undead, you know, tiny children that really disturbs me. And also the end that it leaves you with is very ambiguous and disturbing. Just the fact that I guess you feel like the Pet Sematary has such this evil draw or whatever to people that I was like, I'm unsettled now. Number 8, The Days Are Getting Colder. Name a short, heartwarming read that could warm up somebody's cold, rainy day. I decided to go with Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. It caught my eye when I was looking at my shelves, and I thought, yeah, that's a good, like, rainy day, like, heartwarming thing. I kind of like this one because it's, like, heartwarming, and it is about friendship, but it's still kind of poignant in a way, in the way that certain children's books can be, and so I kind of like that idea of like it being heartwarming but also like having some bittersweet moments if you're gonna read it on a rainy day. Number 9, Fall returns every year. Name an old favorite that you'd like to return to soon. Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. I have not reread it in a few years. I have reread it several times though, but I just want to reread it again in this illustrated edition because I haven't gotten to reread it in this illustrated edition, and it has some really cool pencil drawings and stuff like that. Number 10, fall is the perfect time for cozy reading nights. Share your favorite cozy reading accessories. So I personally love a really good soft sweater or sweatshirt when I'm going to be reading. Recently, I have purchased this fabulous oversized like men's sweater. I found this at the Goodwill because I was looking for costumes for my book excerpt reading at the time. I always find something that I don't need at the Goodwill when I'm looking for costumes and things. So I found this oversized sweater. I haven't gotten to wear it this fall yet because I bought it, you know, couple months back, but I have been wearing it and I'm really excited to wear it during the fall. I'm gonna wear this during the fall and accessorize my book with some tea and that sweater. Last thing is, of course, to tag people. I'm just gonna tag whoever wants to do this because I feel like a lot of people have already done this tag and I don't know who hasn't done it yet. So if you haven't done it, please do it. I'll tag you. And that is it for today, my fabulous peeps. I hope you guys enjoyed my fall time taggy video, and I will see you all soon, hopefully with the vote for the next excerpt reading. So check that out when I get that up, and that is all, folks. I will see you soon. Bye!